All right, y'all, welcome back to the Spiritual Shepherd YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're actually going to be doing an overview of all of my programs. If you guys can, check out my podcast. It's free for a limited time only. Usually, that is only for clients. Check out any of my social media. Everything will be in the link in the description. If you need anything on Amazon, things that I definitely vibe with are people who are similar to, my wavelength or frequency of being. Check out a lot of the stuff that I have down there. Everything will be in the description. There's vegan proteins, other different types of things that I know will resonate with, people. There's also other things that I'm going to start putting down in the description as well, like Quest bars and other different types of things that I know are going to be vibe for you guys. So just stay tuned for that. Now, what we're going to kick off, guys, today is these are all my business landing pages. This is exactly what's on my Spiritual Shepherd site. And I'm going to kind of give you an overview to different types of things. So first one we're going to start off with is MEPS, which is the MEPS program, which is 333. Ultimately, the MEPS program is this, y'all. Mentality, emotionality, physicality, and spirituality. Now, I'm going to dive deep into what MEPS program is and how to cultivate the 4 pillars of MEPS, which is mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. So mentality, visualization, imagination, mental simulation, and memorization. Okay, so these 4 things are very important. You visualize your life mentally. You visualize it as if it's already happening. You imagine it if it's already happening. You simulate the reality in your mind as if it's happening or as it's happening. How do I feel? How do I think? What do I do? Etc. And then you memorize those. You memorize those things, and that becomes more of your mindset in a day-by-day basis, therefore creating the reality mentally. Okay, emotional, like I said, you feel your way. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but emotionality. You have emotional resilience, so you have a resilience towards things that are going to push against what you stand for. Being emotionally resilient and being a phoenix in those situations, okay? Non-attachment emotionality. That doesn't mean that you don't have attachments. It means that you're not attached to those types of things, okay? Same with emotional stability. You need to be emotionally stable to be proper for your emotion, to be holding it down, to hold it down, and to be capable and to be a grounding force emotionally. You must be emotionally stable. Emotion explained. What is emotion? Energy and motion. Emotionality. Emotion is energy in motion. So think about your energy. What energy are you putting in motion? Put more positive light frequency energy into motion and you'll have more positive emotion. Love, compassion, joy, grace, peace, love, kindness, etc. All right, number 3, physicality. 777 pyramid training program. The 777 program is meditation or fasting, meditation, breath work, qigong, yoga. That goes into other different types of things, like qigong is like soft martial arts, aikido goes into other different forms of martial arts. Then you can get into calisthenics, weighted calisthenics, reverse pyramid training. That's also another one too for physicality. 1.618 training, so that's a form of a bodybuilder with reverse pyramid training. 777, you do ice baths, heavy lifting, compound lifts, isolation lifting, cardio, HIIT cardio, mixed martial arts, kickboxing, all those types of things. I have another video already on that, so go check that out. That's physicality. But also physicality too is automation. So we'll get into that a little bit later in some of the other business landing pages that I have. But like automating MTE, what is MTE currency? Check out my podcast on that stuff. All that's free right now. So ultimately, guys, the physicality of us is at the point where when we are evolving our lives physically, we are evolving ourselves to a level to where we are grounding spirituality at a certain frequency of matter, all right, in certain sacred geometrical shapes of frequency of vibration. So spirit is vibration, everything's moving, everything's vibrating, all right? So then that vibration is at a certain frequency, and that frequency creates shapes. It creates different Fibonacci and phi sequences of the face, of the shoulders, of the hourglass figure, of the V taper, of a smile, of the eyes, of the structure of the human body. And so that is why you would deem somebody to be hot or attractive. The hot is the aura. The aura is color vibration. Color vibration is stimulated from heat. Okay, so obviously when white light or just light in general ultimately is shining on a prism or through a prism, it has a rainbow of light. Those rainbows of light are the 7 chakras, the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 seas, the 7 continents. It's all of that type of stuff. It's literally connected to the 7 seals of Revelation, which is revealing something. All right. So that's a very important aspect, guys, that we have to get to, that you understand that if you know how to cultivate and charge your channels, if you know how to charge your channels, you know how to charge your chakras, then you can literally start helping yourself. You can literally start evolving yourself. When you start evolving yourself through channeling and charging your chakras, that's how you're going to exponentially grow quicker than if you were to just kind of do it in a whim, or do it on a whim, like, oh, I don't know, maybe I kind of know something, but like, no, really evolve and figure yourself out and build your chakra system. Spirituality. Obviously, we already talked about chakras a little bit. Solfeggio frequencies. Solfeggio frequencies is literally interconnected with rainbow and numerology and sacred geometrical patterns of numbers and numerology. 852, 963, 741, all those different types of things. You can also check out my podcast for solfeggio frequencies. See, this is the great thing about automating. When you work every day, and regardless if you guys are going to watch this full video, I'm going to make these into shorts. You'll watch the shorts. Just a little thing about automation. If you don't watch this and I direct you to go listen to something that you actually really enjoy, such as solfeggio frequencies or chakras or 777 training, all that is in podcasts. It's all 10 minutes. It might be 15 minutes. It might be perfect timing for you to drive to where you need to go, and that's the video that you chose to listen to today. This is the video that you chose to listen to today, whatever. That is the perfection of automation. You don't have to say things over and over and over again. I've already repeated myself from other videos in this video, and so that's exactly what Gary Vee understands. He literally has somebody just record him the whole day, and then you start getting really good at helping people, and then you record it, and then you don't have to keep saying it because people will watch your recordings forever. Forever. So spirituality, that's actually a very big thing. That's a very immortal thing. Spirituality, but automation, learning how to automate yourself. All right. So solfeggio frequency, each chakra explained, going through fasting. The fasting is crown. Fasting is the crown. And then obviously like each different chakra is for something else. We can get into that. The OODA loop, and other different types of things about the OODA loop, which is orient, observe, decide, act. So you figure out what you want to do, observe it, decide what you want to do, and then act on it, and then make it better, make that thing more perfect. 1.618. Do a Fibonacci sequence on it. Okay, then compound interest, that Fibonacci sequence. So compound interest, your interests, which are positive interests that will compound over time. All right, so automating your life, it's going to compound, where eventually I don't have to keep saying the same shit over and over and over again, that you could just vibe with it, and then you can cultivate and build off that interest that I've already built and compound it over 7 years. Somebody can go to this video in 9 years and still learn something that I'm teaching today, 9 years before they ever watched it. See what I'm saying? So that's the importance of attention and other different types of things too. Ice baths, OODA loop and ice baths. So doing ice baths and breath work, healing the internal structure of the DNA, the mRNA, the gene expression, the ones and zeros, the Solomonic DNA, the light codes that are emitted from the sun that transform the aura and the rainbow of the light body of your body, which you have a astral body, which is Astra, which is star light codes your body. The sun is a star, etc. So OODA loop. Orientation, observant, decisive, and action fulfilled or action filled, becoming, being, and doing, increasing your financial literacy, increasing your minimalism through your financial literacy, which means that you require less to be happy, but you have more in terms of what society would deem as rich, per se. More organized, so stay completely organized. The more organized your life is, the easier it is for you to be gathered in your thoughts. The more gathered you are in your environment, the more gathered your environment is. Being a disciple is being disciplined, so waking up early. One important thing that I would definitely say is waking up early is one of the most stoic and emotionally fulfilling things that you can ever do in your life. Okay. Now, obviously, there's crossover connections between MEPS, so mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. There's neurons in the heart, which is the emotional-filled thing, like I heart you or I have emotion for you. But there's neurons in the heart, which means that the mental and the emotional are connected. There's neurons in the gut, which is also stimulated for the governing or the government of the physicality, which is your mind. So the all mind is in charge of the heart, and the heart is also in charge of the physical, and the spiritual is in charge of the mind, the emotions, the physical. So the better your spirituality is, the more in charge you are of all three things: mental, emotional, and physical. So that's like a very simple basis of MEPS. We're going to keep going. So Kabbalah program. The Kabbalah program, this goes perfectly into DNA and RNA and Solomonic lineage. So the Kabbalah, if you understand what the Kabbalah is, go look up at a picture on Pinterest of what the Kabbalah is. I post it all the time on all of my type of stuff. But it's ultimately a representation of a 10 Sephirah or Sephora representation of life, and if you multiply it by 3 dimensions, it creates a double helix DNA. So your DNA is literally mimicked of the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is in the DNA. The Torah and the Tarot are interconnected, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. In the Tarot, there's 22 paths of the Tarot. In the Torah, there's 22 letters of Paleo-Hebrew. Paleo-Hebrew is a daughter language of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs is the mother language of the Paleo-Hebrew, which is also, there's the diet paleo being in paleo. So, Daisy, I will feed you in a minute. The keto, paleo, vegan. Keto is a very powerful ketosis aspect of your life. So being more in a state of ketosis is going to be more muscle sparing and actually going to help and heal your body. It's a breatharian state, really. Now, paleo is eating within the Paleolithic era. So that's a very important part where paleo and Hebrew are interconnected, and other different types of things too. So obviously the Merkaba, if you study what the Merkaba is, it's 2 tetrahedrons. One is spinning upwards, one is spinning downwards, one is spinning this way, one is spinning that way. And that is connected, and that is literally the same exact example as the Star of David, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And the Lion of the tribe of Judah is a very important aspect of Solomon and the Egyptian Djed pillars and hieroglyphs, and DNA, and the Kabbalah times 3, which is the Solomonic DNA. So Ka, Ba, and La. So Ka, I believe Ka means spirit, Ba is body, or maybe it's Ba, but I want you to look into Ka, Ba, and La, which stands for Kabbalah, and that is literally different sounds of like the Trinity, so spirit and body, spirit and man, spirit and woman. It's very important. That's one thing that I'm still studying. The DNA, Solomonic lineage, and sacred geometrical patterns. Sacred geometrical patterns and the DNA are a very important thing. So DNA is where Solomon DNA is in. So the more double helix and triple helix your DNA is, and the less RNA, the short-lived RNA, the mRNA, and all these other different types of things, which is a half of a DNA. Really, it's a misperception of DNA. So as you heal your sacred geometrical generational curses and traumas, and you turn them into generational blessings, because you have generational blessings. You have some people are born, with blessings in their life. Now, the Solomonic lineage, so check out Solomonic lineage, which is also talked about King Solomon, and it also talks about the Kabbalah, the Universal Kabbalah. And then sacred geometrical patterns. There's like 3 tetrahedrons or 4 tetrahedrons in the Kabbalah itself, and just the 10 Sephiro and the Sephora itself. Obviously, the supernal realms, the abyss realm, studying what magic is with the K, which is also connected to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, learning what spelling is. That's why they're called spells. And then learning how to write sentences, okay, which is a sentence, which is how are you imprisoning your words, which is why a prison sentence. But ultimately, it's not a bad thing. It's just how are you putting things, how are you structuring things. Prison is very structured, obviously. So you have to look at that type of thing. And obviously, this is somewhat of a prison, but people don't understand that. Go check out The Matrix. It is a prison for your mind. It is a prison for your mind. So that's how you spell. You learn how to spell through sentences and how to sentence things, which means that when you talk like this is amazing. This and that are different things. Okay? Spectrums of light, weight of light, unification, and separation, which means that ascension and descension of the rainbow light spectrums through the 144,000 of the spectrums of light and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Obviously, the sun, son of God, which is the son of God. God would be representation of the grand central sun, which is the greatest known star that we can ever fathom, if we can fathom it. Because I don't think we really can. I think we just have like an idea. But regardless, the Kabbalah, check out the 22 paths of the tarot, and then the 22 major arcana. That's one thing I didn't mention. And then the 22 letters of Paleo-Hebrew, which are also interconnected with the Kabbalah, the ascension and descension of the Kabbalah, going from the fool into the magician, literally the fool into the magician. So the magician, Solomonic DNA, they were magi. That's the crazy thing. They're not 3 kings, they're magi. The 3 magi followed astronomy and astrology to go find Jesus. Okay, and then they rewarded him with gifts, and those gifts are literally used in magic to this day. Same with Solomon. Solomon practiced magic. Solomon had concubines. Solomon had many different things, and he was a king and a lord over many different things. There's obviously the greater and lesser keys of Solomon, so check those books out. I also have those in the description under book recommendations for Amazon, so check those out. Next, Breatharian Initiation Program. The Breatharian Initiation Program is, first of all, these are going to be the basis of Breatharian. Meditation is the foundation, okay? Listen to Elitam Elamine. I have some books in the book recommendation of Amazon at that as well. Meditation is the foundation. Fasting, keto, carb cycling, intermittent fasting is how you get started, okay? Doing a lot of breath work. Make sure breath work is your thing. Do the 777 pyramid program, which is fasting, meditation, breath work, yoga, qigong, martial arts, cultivating your chi channels, building yourself through liquiditarianism, building yourself through sun gazing, lifting weights, doing body calisthenics, band work, and ice baths, all those types of things, or even mud baths, like just nature baths. Bask and bathe in nature, okay? So, which I'm going to get into. So fasting, keto, carb cycling, intermittent fasting, breath work, qigong, accumulation. So qigong, accumulation of qi. Qi is energy. There's the 3 jewels, also known as the Trinity. The 3 jewels in the Tao, or the way, which is I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay. Qi accumulation is from the heart. Okay. So Jing energy is sexual accumulated energy through semen retention, including with women, which is fluid retention. As you have fluid retention, you do a lot of different breathwork techniques to raise your energy. Heat is the number one. So the number one law of thermodynamics is heat rises. So as you create heat within the system through breathwork and through your aura, and you transform your aura, you're going to start getting a lot of chills, and that chill is Kundalini. That Kundalini energy is the snake, which is literally represented in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and other many different types of things, such as the pine cone. Okay, and so obviously the pine cone goes like this as it spirals and is created in Fibonacci phi sequences. See, I just see things. Like, I just see it for the way it is. That's the crazy part, but it's not really that crazy. So the thing is, y'all, is as you start accumulating accumulating sexual jing, sexual semen retention energy. As you use that, retain that, you do a lot of breath work, that will cultivate and transform into chi, which is the next jewel. The next jewel after chi is shin, which is consciousness energy, also known as Christ consciousness. And you can transform this into it, your sexual energy, into Christ consciousness through semen retention. Becoming a monk or a nun is a very easy path to do. To do that, I'm not saying being a nun or a monk is an easy path. I'm saying that that's the easier path to accomplish those types of feats: meditating, fasting, breath work, and then chi accumulation. So breath work, qigong accumulation, martial arts, other different types of things like aikido. I also have, like I said, I have book recommendations in the description, all about breatharian initiation, all about, living a life without food, or many other different things. And I have plenty of books too. I will do a book recommendation video on here as well. But book recommendations for, somebody who is into the breatharian path, check out book recommendations under L.V. Tom Elamine, Ray Moore, and all those other different types of things. Sun gazing, sun bathing, sun basking, melanin. Everybody has melanin to a certain degree, but obviously there's some who are genetically predispositioned to have higher levels of melanin, and that is a very powerful thing, which is why beings who are heavily melanated, highly melanated, beings who are connected with the sun directly can always stay out into in the outside. They can be outside longer, and so that's a very important thing too. I've already talked about how the sun is literally the son of God. So just, put two and two together, put one and one together. Obviously, the auras of the earth. So there's different auras or areas of the earth, auras of the earth, which means that there's different environments. So environment, your internal environment creates and projects your external environment, not the other way around. But a lot of people are living outside of themselves, which means that they have to receive something from the outside, such as validation, attention, or attention of validation, or seeking other people's approval, people pleasing. There's levels of psychology for this too. Narcissism, negative empathy, other different types of stuff like that. Okay. Environments. There's tundra, deserts, oasis, humid, dry, tropical, many other different types of environments. So imagine what these environments would feel like, and that is also how you can interconnect with your true environment. Who are you? Where are you supposed to be? Like, I have a very big drawing, a very big calling, and I'm drawn towards like tropical places, and it's because I have Puerto Rican in me, and I'm thinking that it's part of my duty as a being to pass on my genetic disposition and my genetic position to help other beings along my line to be more genetically predispositioned to have higher levels of melanin. Even though I'm not black, I'm saying that I have higher predisposition to pass on melanin because of those reasons. And melanin is obviously interconnected with the sun. And so to go towards somewhere closer to the equator, then you're going to become more equal with those vibrations of the sun. Obviously, it's going to be there's levels to it, guys. There's literally levels to it. That's why there's levels of beings too. So just see me, okay? See me. Solitarian, liquiditarian, vegan, keto, paleo, vegan, liquiditarian, solitarian, breatharian. So check these out. That is the breatharian initiation path, which I obviously go into that in my programs. Next, dark room initiation program. The blindfold experience. That's so ironic that was my next one. See me in your third eye, your mind's eye. So when you go into a dark room and you put a blindfold on, you will literally start to realize the importance of a dark room. You will start to realize the importance of enlightenment, dark room enlightenment. Go check out my dark room enlightenment videos on YouTube, TikTok, and my podcast. So those are all free for you to find. They're in the description, so it's super easy. Darkroom prepping, putting food in glass, stocking food up, preparing dry foods, preparing dried canned foods or dried fruit, other different types of levels of that. Next, book recommendations. There's darkroom book recommendations of one specifically is the immortal, timeless breatharian path. It's a very beautiful book. It's like a yellow book with the orange spiral. We actually read that when I was on my breatharian retreat. Fantastic. That's exactly where I found it. And they talk about dark room and breatharian in that. It's also, here's a little thing to connect breatharian and dark room. Breatharian and dark room, to go into a dark room, obviously it's going to be way easier, going to be genetically predispositioned to accomplish dark room easier when you are in a higher level of breatharian. If you're always relying on food and you're always relying on eating, then it's going to be harder for you to have a dark room. Okay. There's obviously different levels of melatonin, pinoline, 5-MeO, and NN-DMT. Melatonin from the 1 to 3 day period builds up to 25 milligrams. After 25 milligrams, it says, whoa, 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 this is your mind talking. Whoa, 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 we have way too much melanin. Let's make something more powerful because we still need to heal some of these things in our body. Pinoline will release from day 3 to day 5. Then it's going to have the same exact reverse feedback loop and feedback loop of pinoline. Whoa, 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 we have way too much pinoline. We still need to heal. Let's keep going. Let's go deeper and build something more chemically and endocrinally and hormonally better for our vibration of frequency electrically in our nervous system, because our nervous system keeps turning on and it keeps getting better. We become more enlightened. In light as in nervous system, as in the electrical system. Go ask my brother. He's an electrician. But I can guarantee you that there's different wavelengths of direct currency and alternating currency, okay? And there's different wavelengths of light, which means that you can transcend and move to different, you can have brighter lights or darker lights. You can dim lights. You can make lights brighter. It's the same thing with your spine. There's a reason why you can do this, because you are it. You are the reference point of where things begin. See, that's the crazy part. One thing that I recently just posted, just a little side note. God didn't separate himself. God didn't separate God from man or woman. God didn't separate God from man or woman. God allowed man and woman to choose to be together with God or choose to separate himself from God. And so man and woman decided to separate themselves from God, and therefore God was allowant and had an allowance of it, but it was not the other way around. I said it better on my, see, that's why I like writing. I like many different levels, because there's some things that you can just like write that are perfectly said or written. And then you have to really like perfect. That's also why it's very important to go off of a script. Sometimes I go off a script. Sometimes, most of the time, it's half and half. But after pinoline, 3 to 5. So melatonin from day 1 to day 3 is going to build up to 25 milligrams. Pinoline from day 3 to 5 is going to build up to 25 milligrams. Once it hits the 25 milligrams, it's going to be like, whoa, 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 this is your mind talking. Whoa, 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 we have way too much. Let's go deeper and keep healing. Let's go deeper and keep healing. So the 5-MeO is going to be like more psychoactive. It's going to be more active in your psyche. That's really what it is. It's going to start cleaning and clearing your mind. It's going to start disassociating from the things that are no longer serving your mind, your higher self, no longer serving those types of things. Okay. That's from day 5 to day 7, which is how I experienced this. That was in day 5.5 at night. Very powerful. Then I started secreting NN-DMT, which is the visual cortex of the pineal gland, and visually seeing NN-DMT or DMT or 5-MeO DMT and actually living in those realities. Sacred geometrical patterns and divinity. So there's different sacred geometrical patterns of light, of angels, of other types of beings, many different light frequency beings, sacred geometrical patterns. Going into a dark room, you are going to enlighten your soul inside of you. And there's higher divinities, lower divinities, and hierarchies of the divinity. Dreams, vision, prophecy. So you can start having prophetic messages, dreams, visions, lucid dreams, astral projection, mind reading, many other different types of things. Enlightenment. I'm going to break this down. Enlightenment. Enlightenment. Inner light, in light, as in light, okay? Inner light in the mind. So bring your light that's inside of you, bring it into the mind. Transmute it. Alchemize it. It's literally the example of alchemy and being the alchemist, which is transmuting your darker light, your infrared light into ultraviolet light. Along the 7 frequencies of light, the light frequencies of weight, or the weight of light unification, or the spectrums of light, there's obviously X-rays, cosmic rays, there's infrared light, there's visible light, there's ultraviolet light. It's transmuting and alchemizing your infrared light, turning lead into ultraviolet light, which is gold, which is literally what the alchemist is.